CM Punk is the main guest at Starrcast 3. Not only is he going to be involved in some autograph signings, but he's also going to do a one-on-one interview, and you already know how all the questions are going to go. When are you joining AEW? When are you joining AEW? Hey Punk, when are you joining AEW? Hey Punk, when are you joining AEW? Hey Punk, AEW now, yeah? CM Punk join AEW, please. CM Punk, come back to wrestling. I beg you, I need you, my life, I miss you. CM Punk AEW. CM Punk AEW. CM Punk AEW. CM Punk AEW. Go on, go on, go on. I'm sure CM Punk knows what he's getting himself in for. However, when you do look at the wrestling industry, I actually think the time is perfect for CM Punk to join AEW. Why? Here's why. While this is going to be speculated on right up until August 31st, 2019, even if CM Punk doesn't show up all out, that doesn't mean that it's not something that he should start considering. There are plenty of reasons why Punk would make a huge difference as All Elite Wrestling slowly starts to become a real and a proper promotion. And also, if he did do that, he would address a lot of the issues that he had with WWE. And just to tie it into everything on the channel, here's 4 reasons CM Punk left WWE. Number 4, it's run by Vincent Kennedy McMahon. If you remember that Colt Cabana podcast, CM Punk was not only annoyed about how McMahon was running the company creatively, but also how he ran it from a business perspective, or a personal one, I should say. Because how many times did he talk about getting injury, literally coming out of surgery, his phone ringing, and it being Vince going, "When you coming back to work, pal?" There was also the whole political aspect that was sparked by McMahon, and all of it just wasn't to CM Punk's taste. It sent him loopy, but when you do look at AEW from afar, it certainly seems to be a business or a company or a promotion that is run in a very different way. And given they would be, I guess, in a way so indebted to the fact they got CM Punk in, he probably would be treated like a big star. And that's what he always wanted. Number 3, he lost respect for the WWE, which is not the case when it comes to All Elite Wrestling. In fact, he has spoken out multiple times about his positive feelings towards the likes of the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega. And you got to imagine if he ever did meet Tony Khan, and maybe he already has, he would be quite taken aback by him, because it does seem like he is first a fan of wrestling, and then a businessman, and not a businessman who pretends to be a fan. And it is always easy to forget this, but never underestimate the power of working with people that you actually like. Like, take your own situation, take your own job. If you're working in accounts and Barry really pisses you off, but over in marketing, Steve is the life and joy of the party, you want to go over there and you want to work with Steve because he's going to put a smile on your face. Number 2, he couldn't do things his way. And he definitely could in AEW. There's nothing to suggest that CM Punk still doesn't believe he is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Like I say, there's no evidence to say that has changed. He didn't leave wrestling because he was stagnating or he was crap. He left because he was pissed off. He was facing too many hurdles and he didn't want to deal with it anymore. And he also wanted to portray himself in a different way, in a different light. You can bet your ass that All Elite Wrestling would allow him to do that. He'd have to. He'd be one of the biggest stars in the damn place. Number 1, he didn't feel like he was valued. And my word, would he be valued over there. Not only does Tony Khan most definitely want him, and you'd have to be crazy to not want somebody like that, if you have just started a wrestling promotion, he would be financially rewarded too. And don't forget, once again, going back to that Colt Cabana podcast, that's something CM Punk took umbrage with as well. You're saying I'm a top guy, but you're not paying me like a top guy. Put your hand in the pocket. And Vince was like, "I don't think we should, pal. You had the main event, WrestleMania with Undertaker. It's not a real main event." You just go listen to it. AEW also isn't small fry, and that does tie in. If you have been smashing it in WWE, you don't want to return to the industry for some hoity-toity promotion. You want to return on top. And given the tickets that All Elite Wrestling sells and the merchandise and the sheer buzz around it, you've got to put them up there. They may not be competition to WWE, they do feel big league. Lastly, think of all the dream matches that await him. You could do CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. You could do CM Punk versus one of the Young Bucks. You could do CM Punk versus Kenny Omega. You could do CM Punk versus Chris Jericho, but it's not in WWE, and that would blow your mind if you're an old school WWE fan. And you could do CM Punk versus Jon Moxley, who used to be Dean Ambrose, and the internet was shut down because it's all just too confusing. At this juncture too, you could argue that he's already gone out there and done everything that he set out to do. Let's take his big MMA dream. Now, I know loads of people crap all over this and they roll their eyes, but I go the complete other way. I massively respect CM Punk for what he did in the UFC, and I actually think it's quite motivational and quite inspirational, because sure, those two fights definitely didn't go the way he intended or the way that he would have wanted to, but he did it. And when he's a 70-year-old man, he can look back and go, well, at least I tried. And if you have no regrets, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna feel pretty positive inside. And Punk knows that too, no matter how many internet trolls want to go, you should never have been a UFC fan. You got your ass handed to you. Oh yeah, let's put you in there. Let's put you in the octagon and see how you get on. You get chucked out before you can even say, nah, leave me alone. On top of that, the straight edge one has always been a fan of changing the industry and leaving his mark. And if he did join All Elite Wrestling, not only would he do that, but he would drag a bunch of lapsed fans back into viewing it. Loads of people tuned back into WWE when he did start all of that fuss back in 2011 because they felt like he was speaking to them. And you'd have to imagine if he did that again after years away, the impact, no pun intended, would be even bigger still. Just think of hearing that music in a wrestling arena as well. I mean, even when they used it in the StarCast 3 reveal trailer, everybody they couldn't handle it, just that battle, they're like, oh my God. I do want to preface all of this by saying that the main thing is CM Punk is happy. I know it's a bit cheesy and a bit silly, but it's true. If he wants to come back to wrestling, he should. And if he doesn't, then there's no harm, no foul. I understand why fans want it and why fans are desperate for it, but if he doesn't, it doesn't make him a bad person. You see that on Twitter all the time, and it's crazy. It certainly seems like Punk is living his best life, and that's the life you always should live. However, if he did want to make a return, there's a way to look at it and say, maybe All Out isn't the time. The art of the surprise is everything in pro wrestling, and now that he has been announced for StarCast 3, the obvious transition is, oh, I guess he'll be at All Out too if this deal has been done. But no, don't do that. Don't do that at all. Like, if Chris Jericho had been announced for the first StarCast and then he had turned up at All In, you would have gone, well, it's cool, and I can't believe that Jericho has decided to do this and turn his back on WWE. But yeah, I kind of figured this out. He was at the event, and while everyone says there's no affiliation, there is a little bit of affiliation, even if it's mental. But when we start talking about an elongated tease, that is right up Simon Miller's alley. You'll plant the seeds with this, sure, but you will make an even bigger splash if you hold this off until AEW debuts on TNT television, which is going down in October, probably October 2nd. You need something huge up your sleeve, and what is bigger than CM Punk, who would be a life-size individual, and that would be impressive to begin with. You get that initial buzz and also that reaction of people desperately searching on the internet to try and see clips of that, and then when you get to episode number 2, you may have actually cultivated a huge audience who just want to see how the hell CM Punk has arrived back on the wrestling scene. It's exciting to fantasy book, isn't it? I know we all look down on it, but isn't it fun to do? Doesn't it get us all pumped up? What a bunch of nerds. The time is certainly right though, even if a lot of that timing is based on the fans' perspective as opposed to CM Punk. So he's probably making loads of money. They're probably paying him a fortune to do StarCast 3. He probably don't need to get in a wrestling ring and take a load of bumps. Bumps hurt. When you sum it all up, it's just nice to see legends return home. And I think a nice new home for CM Punk would be AEW. And look, while it may never happen, this StarCast 3 announcement makes it one step closer, at least in your brain. Now you can take all of that, and if you want to lose your mind and convince yourself that he is going to join All Elite Wrestling, then you can. And on a personal note too, I understand it. I get the love, I get the passion, I get the excitement. I feel the same. Look, I'm wearing one of my t-shirts right now because I long for the day where Repo Man walks back into my life down a WWE aisle. I wait and I live for that day. Now, it's probably never going to happen because there's a whole lot of bullshit that you can find out just by searching on Google. But hey, I will continue to dress up like him, and I will continue to sing Barry Darso's praises until the Repo Man is on Raw, is on SmackDown. Hell, he can be on Main Event. He can be on NXT. I don't care. I just want to see that WWE logo in the corner, and I want to see Repo Man. I want to hear Repo Man. And then I want to question him. I want to interview him and go, what the flub was this gimmick all about? But thank you very much. I love it. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about the potential of CM Punk going to AEW. Like, share, and subscribe. Head on to whatculture.com and read yourself some articles. Follow What Culture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE and watch more videos here on What Culture Wrestling. My name is Simon Miller, aka 2019's Repo Man. I never thought I'd say that sentence. And look, Regardless whether CM Punk does go into AEW, I still think they're going to be a very success. And hey ho, we could even wait a year. We could wait until the end of 2020. And if All Elite Wrestling have existed and they've lasted that long, if you bring in CM Punk then, you can launch phase 2. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You've always got to have something in the tank. CM Punk could be that something in the tank. Like I say, it's fun to wait and see. We're only 6 weeks away from All Out, from StarCast 3? Who knows what's gonna happen? Repo Man.